We're excited to welcome to our program today Jody Wheeler as well as Timo Descamps. We're going to be talking to them not only about their journey in front of and behind the camera, but what it's been like for them to work together to be able to accomplish some amazing things and create some great content. Jody, Timo, thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Well, Jody, it's great to be able to meet you here while I'm in Los Angeles because I got a chance to speak with you on Conversations Live, the radio show, about the film The Dark Place, which Timo is also a part of, as well as other projects as well. But Jody, what has it been like for you to have created these great projects and to be able to see the response to them?
It makes all that working alone in a dark room, it makes it really, really feel good to know that people are actually seeing and liking and understanding and appreciating the stuff that I've done. Right. And to see the choices that I make in terms of cast and productions and things like that, to see people respond and for them to discover not just my own storytelling, but the people that are involved in creating the stories too. Yeah.
For those who aren't familiar, Jody is a writer and director. He actually directed The Dark Place that I got a chance to see. Timo is actually a part of that film, but Timo is also a recording artist, and I found out before this conversation, also an author as well. So Timo, what has it been like for you to kind of share all of your different creative avenues and to be able to see the response to them?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm a little, I would say I'm a little ADD, a little much, I don't know. And so it's a lot of fun to be able to do a lot of different things. I started out relatively young. I mean, I was still in high school when I did my first TV gig in Belgium. It was a soap series. It was actually a lot of fun. And then, I was lucky enough to be able to record some music and to be in other TV shows, and I did a lot of musical theater back home as well. Yeah. I even went back to Belgium. I was last year, right before October, to do a special edition of an award-winning musical theater show I've done in Belgium, and it was with a symphonic orchestra, really, really big theaters. It was a lot of fun, and so. I really like that I'm able to do all these different things because I tend to get bored easily.
Right, yeah.
And so when you're doing all those different things, it keeps it interesting.
Sure. Talk about keeping it interesting, Jody. The great thing I love about your work is that you're able to tell a story that has so many different layers. With The Dark Place, you were able to do that. There were so many things that were spoken and unspoken in that film that really comes out for the viewer. I mean, is that part of your mission, especially as a director, to be able to tell a story, but also to tell a story within a story?
Yeah, I think it's kind of more, it's probably more my personality, because as anybody will tell you that I go deep out of left field, and then after that, I'm suddenly back to cracking, a really, really bad joke or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I can't escape it. I think the funny thing is that over the years, as I've learned to write, it's been to actually pull back the layers, because sometimes it's just dumping so much in there and to pull things out. Yet when I'm done, I still have more layers than a typical, and I have to constantly, when people are reading the stuff, I'm going, is it are you getting it? Is it understandable? Have I done too much? How are you responding to it? At least in terms of The Dark Place, and from everybody reading, when Timo read it years ago, and Steve, my producing partner, everybody, it's like, oh yeah, I get this. I see all the things that are going on in there, and it's a really interesting combination. And pulling it together and making it real, people seem to enjoy that. People seem to be able to go back and forth from the really deep and touching moments just to the simple action adventure moments that are in the movie.
Sure. To that level, I want to come back to that, Jody, with you, because one of the things that I love about The Dark Place is the psychological aspect of it. Speaking of psychological, though, Timo, in your video that we were discussing before we went on here, Like It Rough, it definitely has a psychological feel to it as well. And for our viewers who have not seen the video, I think it's so much more than what the title probably makes you think of. But I mean, Timo is
pretty rough. It was pretty rough shooting it too, actually.
But Timo, what is that like for you to kind of have something like The Dark Place, have something like a character in Like It Rough, where you were not only singing but of course acting in the video for it? to kind of get into the skin of these characters and bring those complications to life?
It's very challenging, of course. I mean, in my earlier acting work, I always had to play characters that were very close to who I am. So when I was younger, I was always like the slightly confused, happy kid who that was always the kind of role they would give me, always,
Right.
like every single time. And then at some point I met Jody, and all of a sudden I got to play like the vampire slayer in the music video that
Right.
he came up with that concept, actually. And I got to play a really kind of nasty, evil kind of character, manipulative in Judas Kiss, and then
Which we were shooting at the same time. I was producing that, and that's where I met you on that. And he was the bad guy in or the baddish guy in Judas Kiss. Kiss, and then we did the music video.
Exactly, and then he wrote The Dark Place and asked me to play this entire opposite character that I had been doing in those other projects. It was a very smart, emotional, kind-hearted guy. The boyfriend of the lead,
with a pretty vicious left hook too. He can really, yeah.
He had his moment, but we won't give away too much for the people who haven't seen the movie. But it's very interesting, very challenging to be able to do all those different parts, and also very fun that Jody keeps coming up with new things for me.
Right,
So.
exactly. Well, Jody, let's talk about that, because I think the what's next for a lot of people in the creative community is the question. I know for any of us, no matter what we do, I think, when you do something well, even you're thinking about the next thing, what's coming next. Do you find the question of what's next one of the things that keeps you inspired?
Yes, there's always something new to do, and in a funny way, you always feel a little bit behind because there's more things in your head that you want to do, and the time it takes to do that is a lot. I mean, movies are very intensive stuff, even the small level movies that we've done now, and with each film we keep growing what we're trying to do. The next film that I'm trying to do is a horror comedy film, and we're set that one up for a larger budget, but in order to do that, the script has got to be different, and the amount of resources that you put into it are different, and the time period it takes to get that off the ground is different. It's unlike writing a book. Well, some people can spend 2 or 3 years writing a book. I'm always kind of really envious of people that are able to just crank out stuff, and it's good. I mean, anybody can crank out crap, but trying to get stuff that's really good is difficult. So there's always something to do, and there's always a list of things to do, and you hope that you can get just to a little bit of it in the course of your life.
Exactly. I think that's the amazing thing. Timo, to you, I wanted to ask a similar question, because you are a person who is very involved in the creative community as a writer, recording artist, and actor. Do you find the question of what's next outside of the ADD one of the things that drives you as you're going throughout your different creative phases?
Yes, at times. I guess I don't know what it depends on. It really. I guess sometimes I'm just all over the place, but at times in my life, I've really focused on, okay, what do I want to do next? I set these goals for myself. Like when I was really young, it was, I want to be acting on television. Then somewhat halfway in my 20s, I was like, I want to go to America. I want to start acting in English. And whenever you have those kind of goals, it's really rewarding working towards it and seeing your goal getting closer. Yes, it does give you a lot of energy to move forward and to come up with new ideas.
I met you because you took a long shot. I mean, you reached out to be.
I randomly contacted someone on Facebook, and then before I knew it, I was in America. So that was that was really cool.
And he's still here.
He's still here.
Still here.
Yeah. Wow, what an amazing thing. And I think what a great encouragement for those who are watching this, no matter where they may be, as to what's possible for them. Again, everyone, Jody Wheeler has been our guest. Timo Descamps has been with us as well. Joining us here in Los Angeles for Cyrus Webb Presents, talking about their journey in front of and behind the camera, one of the things that has been inspired them, as well as what it's been like for them to work together to bring these great projects to life. So speaking of what's next, Jody, so how can our audience stay connected with you to keep up with what's next?
For the film The Dark Place, they can go to thedarkplacemovie cyruswebb.com. I'll double check those and make sure that it's probably sitting right here right now, so you'll know
Right.
exactly what they are.
Right.
But there's that one. The name of the production company that I have is called Cthulhu Crush Productions. Unless you're an H.P. Lovecraft fan, you can't spell that. So again, it's going to be right here. You'll be able to find out what's going on there, and that's going to list the new movie. There's a TV show that we have in development. There's a couple of other things that are going on, so you'll be able to see that stuff too.
Awesome. And Timo, what about for yourself? How can our viewers stay connected with you?
I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and it's all the same name. It's all just Timo Descamps.
All right. So make sure you all
No
stay connected with you.
Cthulhu's, Timo Descamps.
Yes.
And that also will be at the bottom of your screen there. Jody, thank you so much. Great to finally meet you in person,
Nice to
and
meet
looking
you,
forward
too.
to our next conversation on the air. And Timo, looking forward to having you on the radio with us as well. And thank you for joining us for Cyrus Webb Presents.
No problem. It was my pleasure.